and created different sects,
Yeah.
like the Freemasons, the Shriners.
Mm-hmm.
Shriners they're more advanced than the Scottish Rite.
Yeah.
That's way further into the Freemasonry.
Okay.
I can't speak on that because I didn't experience it, but I can tell you it's a part of it. Okay.
Okay.
Also, the Jesuits, which, like Dr. Faust, several others that are in our government that have been to the Jesuit school there in New York.
Yeah.
They have a lot to do with it too. And you can check into that and you can see how it all starts and who controls and how things work from that path. And if you want me to, I can send you some information via email that you can research. Also, some videos if you want to check into some of those. And I can send you some PDF files.
Okay.
That may help you out quite a bit.
Yeah. And what's so crazy, it might have aligned with some things that I've already found. So before we get off, I just want to let you know that I really have questions that have been unanswered because my uncle.
And if I can answer, I will feel free.
Because
I will oblige what you ask if I can.
My uncle, if you heard this story before I started accepting calls, my uncle prior to this, and maybe I might be searching for something that I don't need to search for, but I have unanswered questions, right? My uncle was also a Freemason, and he took keen to my what's the word? My curiousness about everything that's going on. So he asked my mother to give her his phone number, and a week later he passed away. So we never had this conversation. So I
could probably help you out a little bit, but without you having to say too much more that might answer your question before you.
Yeah.
He may want you to call him so that he could touch base with you and hopefully meet up with you and possibly get something that he could have tested for like a DNA and do a blood test to see whether or not you would be compatible with his blood type. And if he were sick, they would have either tried to get you to voluntarily agree to supply a certain amount of blood each week to flush his and revitalize him, depending on his age. Or they may have been going to use you as a sacrificial lamb, I hate to say, to prolong his longevity.
And that's and no, it's okay for you saying that because that is exactly what I thought it was. Because I hadn't talked to him until, funny number, I was 13 years old. That was the last time I talked to him. And he got back in touch with my mother when I was of age to become a Freemason. You know, all Freemasons, you have to be older than 18, correct?
In most cases, unless you're brought in, some parents, if you're a direct descendant, some, like children, like my son at the time when I was a member, he would have sort of been, still had to go through the initiations once he reached age. But I would have been bringing him up in through the process. I don't mean to say grooming like a pedophile.
No, I understand exactly what you mean.
For the Masonic Lodge, if you understand what I'm saying.
Getting me ready, getting me prepared. And that's what my uncle was trying to do. He was trying to get me prepared.
The degrees in the Lodge, they consider to be bringing their members into wisdom. They use numbers and astrology, and there's a lot of other things that come into the picture that not the church public person would know about. There are people that are high up in government that don't know. If they have been through the process, then they don't know. There's the most important Masonic lodge in the States is in D.C.
Okay,
it's not far from where Constitution Avenue is at.
So let me ask you this, bro. Let me ask you this while you're on here right now. So, who is the creator?
In my mind, the Lord Heavenly Father, Yahweh, however you want to call him, God, the creator of the heavens and the earth in the beginning, according to the King James Version of the Bible. That's the way I was raised, Southern Baptist. My first wife, I converted over to holiness with her. Then I backslid. I got divorced, and then I went into the Freemasons.
Now,
and I steadily went down that slope.
Okay, now let me ask you this, because you're on the phone right now. So this right now is like an aspect to a lot of people, because a lot of people don't know anybody in a certain circle that have dealt with this type of thing. So this is very important right now. Like, whether you know it or not, you're doing God's work right now by exposing this. So
believe it or not, I can feel it.
So let me ask you this right here. So at any time, did you feel like you were being deceived to feel like you were serving something else than what you already had in your mind?
To be honest with you, from the very beginning, I was unsure. Until I probably went through the first several degrees of enlightenment, I had no clue as to what I was getting myself into. Now, to be completely honest, and as bad as it might make me sound, for the last few degrees that I went through before leaving, I knew or had a good idea, but it wasn't confirmed.
Because
for the last
couple
of degrees, I knew then what the focal point was, who they considered their God to be, and what the processes were from there out. And then once I was getting basically brought further in and was getting ready to go through my Scottish Rite, that was when I quit, because I had some elders explain things to me to find out whether or not I was going to be willing to accept and proceed and go further on. And hopefully, at the time, I was wanting to get to the 32nd or 33 degree. I never even got close to that. I would be afraid to even think what I would have to do to get there, just because I knew what was coming after the 19th.
So let me ask you this, bro, because a lot of people are going to ask. I have to play devil's advocate, bro. And honestly, these are the questions that's on my mind, because I never got to get these questions answered, right? So a lot of people that have dealt with this type of thing, how have you gotten to the point where you have been able to get out and others have gotten their tongue cut out for saying the same things that you're saying?
I've had people that have helped me along the way that were in the same position I was in at the time. They helped me go through the processes of getting relocated, getting my name changed, my social changed, my kids put in new schools. They had to go through the whole name change process. It was a whole ordeal. And ever since then, you live in fear, but after a while, you get a comfort hand from God that reaches down. God, I might start crying here. That reaches down and puts his hand upon you just because it's all right. He's got you back no matter what.
Yeah.
And if I can help somebody else and maybe deviate them from going down the same road that I'm on and put in processes, then I hope that helps. That's the only reason why I agreed to calling.
Okay. And I appreciate you for calling in. I respect you for having even having the convenience to even call in and let people know that this is what's really going on, because a lot of people think this is a joke.
No, it's no joke. These people take it serious, a lot more serious than what people think. It's no joking matter. Trust me, it's not. There's many lives that have been laid down for this over the centuries upon centuries. This has been going on for thousands of years. And it goes back to the Aztec Indians. It goes back to in the Roman days. I mean, that's where all the sacrifices and everything comes through, from where they would worship a sun god or rain god or whatever god they wanted to worship at.
What other god might they worship, so I can show these folks that this is what's really going on, and you just not talking just because?
The ones that they worship now mainly is like a transgenderism type deal. It's the Baphomet. Somebody that is born both sexes, naturally born that way, is held at the highest regard. They're almost like a god unto themselves. To them. If
Right.
you understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I get. Trust me, I know exactly where you're coming from.
It's not somebody through an operation to become that way. They're actually born both sexes.
Right.
With both genitals, male and female.
And who else might get this blessing?
Sorry?
I said, who else might get this blessing?
People that I don't know if you consider it a blessing or
a curse.
Or a curse, because people will do things sort of like, if you've ever heard of the song or seen the movie, at the Crossroads, people make stuff for money, fame, whatever. They do it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. And bro, I apologize, bro, but I have to go ahead and click. But is it anything else that you want to lead the people off with, so they can know that you really mean what you? Because I hear everything that you're saying, and I understand. I understand. A lot of these people don't understand. A lot of these people don't have a family member that dealt with this stuff. A lot of these people learning these things from the internet.
Family members that are involved and do not know it. It's not something they brag about.
They keep it secret.
Depending on how, yes, they keep it secret until they get to a certain point. And then sometimes you'll have like an apprentice, once they get to a couple of degrees, they get their first Masonic ring, they go from a canvas mason's apron to a leather apron. You get your first emblems, badges. You'll see people start wearing rings on their fingers.
I was just about to look that up.
Whether it be the Masonic symbol or the Shriner symbol.
Hey, and I not to cut you off, but I used to see that all the time when I was in the military. I used to see them folks show off their 33rd ring all the time. And then Shaq did the same thing. Shaq did the same thing. So I was like, hold on, it's something going on with these people. But these people think it's a joke.
It's because there's so much negativity associated with them, and people are actually finding out.
Okay.
People that are revealing, like I'm doing.
Yeah.
So now they're basically going into hiding. If you'll notice, most of the lodges now, because I went by my former lodge a few months ago when I was out of town, they all have signs up on their doors now, and it's not closed due to COVID or anything because things have opened up. We're not under lockdown or anything.
Yeah.
So they have signs up, and the only time they'll meet now is at night. They're not meeting in the lodge.
Okay, my one last and very question that I have for you, for everybody that's listening. Now, I just heard what you just said. Now, these Freemasons that's showing their allegiance, do you think this is because they know their time is coming up, or is it a reason behind why they're showing this all of a sudden?
There's a reason why things are happening publicly now with the government, with the World Economic Forum, with the New World Order that's coming into play. All of this is run by the Jesuits, and it's all combined, intertwined, however you want to phrase it. But now it's all coming. What's the word I'm looking for?
Connected.
It's starting to come to pass, basically.
Okay.
They're trying to bring truth. What they're doing is they're contradicting the Bible 180 degrees. Is what they're doing. That's why they can tell you what the next thing's going to happen is going to be, and it's always going to be something that's negative 180 degrees outside of what the Bible tells you.
Right.
They're
okay.
going to lead people astray, and if they can keep them in fear and divided, it's easier for them to complete their agenda.
Okay. And that's, man, I appreciate that so much. Man, you ended on a perfect note, because that was going to be my next question, but you answered it right there. So we see what's going on, man. So I appreciate you for calling in. I appreciate you for having the man, I don't even know what to call it, man. You
proton male.
Yeah, we gonna say you we gonna say you a female. That's what we gonna say. Yeah, so they leave you alone. We gonna say you a female.
Keep that private.
Yeah, you a female.
I'll discard after that.
I appreciate you, Sandra. Thank you for calling in.
No problem.
All right, appreciate you, man. Have a good night, man. Thank you for calling in, man. Yes, sir. You too. Man, I appreciate y'all for showing y'all wisdom, man. Showing y'all wisdom to the call, man. Y'all gotta know this is real talk that's going on right now. Whatever y'all saying in the comments, man, this is real talk, man. I just sat here and told y'all the conversation that I had with my uncle, man. They showing these rings off, man. Man, if I had to talk to my uncle, man, I probably wouldn't be here right now. This nigga probably would have set me up to be a sacrificial lamb. You hear me? Bro, y'all got to take this serious, man. I'm doing this to show y'all what's going on. Man, hold on. Let me go to hold on. Y'all know what I'm finna do? I'm finna go to the bathroom right quick. But as soon as I come back, man, I'm finna tap somebody into the live, bro. Somebody that's speaking some real shit. Just like the last man. Just like the last caller, man. Last man standing. That was some real shit he was saying. And I can attest to it. Because this the same exact shit my motherfucking uncle was saying. Y'all just heard me. Y'all just heard my mama saying that, man. Y'all just heard my mama saying the same thing. This is not a game. But hold on, man. Let me play this real quick, man. Let me settle y'all down with this.